Elevation History by Sam Condrich, Jackson Miller, Alec Golewski, and Tom Harrison. In the beginning, there was nothing but darkness until God spoke and created the universe. He created everything on the earth, including man. He named this man Adam and gave him a wife made from his own bones. This woman was named Eve. The two lived in the Garden of Eden and had everything they needed and wanted, as long as they didn't eat from the tree of knowledge. They disobeyed God and ate from the tree and created original sin. But God had a plan for humanity, and this led to the time of the covenants. God made a covenant with a man named Moses. God promised Moses that he would give them laws known as the Ten Commandments and promised them a land of milk and honey and freedom from Egypt. This freedom is known as the Exodus. The Israelites were enslaved in Egypt, but God gave Moses a plan to free them through the burning bush. He sent 10 plagues to Egypt until they were freed. The 10 are blood in the Jordan, amphibians, gnats, flies, death to all livestock, sores, hail, locusts, darkness, and death to the firstborn. This 10th plague was known as the Passover. Moses told the people to paint blood over their doors and their sons won't die. Pharaoh didn't listen and his son died and he let them go. This freedom relates back to the Mosaic covenant. They began their journey to the promised land and wandered the desert for 40 years. When they got there, it starts the period of the judges. One of the most famous judges was Samson. Samson was extremely strong, and God promised his strength as long as he didn't cut his hair. Samson married a Philistine woman named Deborah, but this angered the Philistines. They killed her, and Samson was very upset. Eventually, he married a girl named Delilah, but she betrayed him and told the Philistines his weakness, which was cutting his hair. The Philistines came and cut his hair while he slept and blinded him. They locked him up in the temple, and using God's guidance and strength, Samson crushed the temple and killed them all. This leads to the time of the kings and King David's rule. David was a good king, but had trouble with lust. He became fond of his general's wife and sent him to the front lines to be killed. This angered God and eventually caused the kingdom to split in the north and south. This led to the time of the prophets. One of the best prophets was Isaiah, who preached to many about a Messiah. A Messiah was a warrior and a king who would save the Israelite people. But Isaiah thought differently. He promised a suffering servant who would save them all in Isaiah chapter 53. This suffering servant would suffer and die to save everyone.